You may have noticed that the return to cruising in summer 2021 so far looks to be very expensive, with prices sometimes double what they would normally be. We give you the reasons why they are so expensive and still let you know how you can grab a great bargain. Well, ahoy there, cruisers!
Welcome to this video with Cruise with Ben and David. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because that really does help our channel and it keeps us growing.
So yay, cruise is coming back in summer 2021. Well, there's loads of cruises planned to sail from the UK, as well as the Caribbean and Bermuda across the pond. But there's something glaringly obvious. These cruises are more expensive than usual. Most cruises we have seen are 50 to 100%, so double more expensive than they usually would be. UK cruises seem to be the most expensive, but Caribbean cruises are not far behind. But obviously you need to add in that you're going to have add flights to the Caribbean on top. So usually if you were departing from mainland USA, cruises would be historically a lot cheaper, but you've got to fly to the Caribbean as well. We've even seen 3 and 4 night cruises to nowhere, so calling it no ports, as much as £700. That's $900 per person. And we've seen the average 7-night cruise over £1,000 per person for a balcony cabin with no extras, so no drinks, packages, anything like that, just for a basic cabin. So you're going to really be paying a premium, and we have to say we are surprised at some of the prices we have seen.
Some of the cruises are almost as expensive as luxury lines, and on top of this, lots of cruises don't even go anywhere. They are literally just cruises to nowhere or a cruise to the cruise line's private island. Also, on board is going to be really different to how it was before. We've spoke about this a lot in the past. You're going to have social distancing and masks will be required. And we've heard from cruise ship entertainers that entertainment will be cut back from what it was before.
Yeah, we've had a few people really contact us on Instagram from the cruise ship entertainment business saying they're not being employed and that they're cutting back. So you're going to have to do all of these things like wear masks, social distance, as well as not as much entertainment. So you're not going to be really getting what you used to get before, at least at the start anyway.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that it's fair that you're not getting all these type of things, or is it just something that we have to accept? And on top of this, cruise lines will have to pay many of the expensive port fees for passengers, as a lot of the cruises are not going anywhere or there's less port stops.
Now, we're positive people, and this really isn't a moan because we do understand some reasons why they're going to be more expensive. But cruise lines have a big job to correct what happened during the pandemic. Lots of things did go wrong with cruise, and their reputation has been hit hugely. And we have had an overwhelming amount of emails, comments, and posts from you, our lovely subscribers, asking why these prices are so high. So we looked into it for you. Let's have a look at some of the reasons why.
So the first reason cruises are more expensive is because of the pent-up demand. You, us, everybody, we want to get cruising again. So there's a big supply-demand situation. Lots of people want to cruise. It's been over a year and people are willing to pay through the roof for these cruises. And a lot of us have cruise credits to use. So the cruise lines need to charge more for new bookings as future cruise credits isn't new revenue. So many of these people on these new cruises wouldn't have paid any new money to the cruise lines.
Number 2 is reduced capacity on board. So ships will be sailing at a reduced capacity, sometimes around 70% or even less. This basically means there'll be fewer cabins available to sell and less people on board. So cruises will be more expensive because of this. Cruise lines are going to have to charge more to make up for the missing passenger numbers on board. Fewer people means less revenue. The ship still costs basically the same amount to run regardless of the number of people on board. Things like fuel, electricity, all of that stuff. So as you can see, this is a big problem, taking into consideration point number 1, where there's a pent-up demand, and point number 2, where there isn't enough cabins to go around for everybody who wants to cruise. They can charge as much money as they want. But we have to say we are a little bit surprised because there is so much competition here in the UK. There's now about 56 cruise lines going to be doing summer cruises to absolutely nowhere as well. This is a really big point. You're not going to be going to all of the lovely destinations what cruise is famous for. So we're just so surprised that they're not a little bit more competitive with their pricing.
So reason number 3 is to recoup the losses. It's no big surprise that cruise lines have lost billions of pounds over the last year. They've had to pay for the upkeep of the ships even while they haven't been cruising. On top of this, they've had to pay for expensive ship refits, things like new air conditioning, new technology and new air filter systems. And they've equipped these ships with new expensive cleaning equipment, and they're working hard on new protocols. This all costs a lot of money to get cruises safe again, and they need to make back some of this money as soon as they can. So they will be charging premiums for these cruises. So cruise lines will lose money from excursions, as many of these cruises are sea days. So they'll lose a huge chunk of revenue. Lots of staff have also been made redundant and they need to bring them back now.
So that brings us on to number 4, the crew. First of all, many cruise lines are going to be paying for vaccinations for all of their crew. And repatriating the crew back onto the cruise ships is such a huge logistical nightmare. We're not talking a few people here, we're talking thousands of different crew members from all around the world on each and every ship coming back. That includes things like organising their transfers, their flights, their quarantine in the different countries that they're coming into, depending on the rules. There's not even many flights at the moment. And then they've got to quarantine when they're on the ship. They've got to be tested. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of different people. And they're going to have extra staff as well, extra crew, like extra medical staff for the medical centre, and brand new equipment as well. And all of these crew are going to have to be trained again because it's been so long since they were on cruise ships, so they need to go through most of the training procedures as well as all of those brand new training procedures for the new protocols on board. So extra cleaning, the way they're going to do the temperature checks, the way they're going to do social distancing. It's a really big job because half of these crew have never done it before. And the ships themselves need bringing back up to standard. At the moment, they're only filled with ghost crews, so around 50 to 100 crew members. So having so few crew on board for the last year has made things like exterior paint jobs have slipped and cruise ships are starting to look a little bit rough. So there's lots of jobs around the ships and inside the ships for crew to do to get them up and shape ready for you to get back on. So overall, the cost of bringing back a cruise ship with all of the crew is absolutely huge. There are so many logistics and things that cruise lines need to do that we're probably not even aware about. There's so much things going on behind the scenes.
So despite all the increased costs, we've got some tips for you to still grab a bargain and save money when booking a cruise. The first tip is that you need to book as soon as these cruises are released. The model cruise lines are using is that the prices start off cheapest, and when people book and the cruise has more demand, when it becomes more popular, it gets more and more expensive as the availability reduces. It's similar to hotels and airlines and things like that.
Yeah, so the more booked up a cruise is at the moment anyway, in most cases, the more expensive it's going to be. And there's lots of demand, as we said, so you need to be really quick. We booked 4 cruises so far. Each time we got the starting price, so from price, because we booked as soon as possible. So another tip is to book further down the line. The most recent cruises, from what we can see, are the most expensive. So you can book right into the future, later into the year, even into 2022 and 2023. Because that pent-up demand should reduce as time goes on. So cruise lines are going to have to reduce their charges and it should get cheaper.
Another great tip is to look out for promotions and extras that are going to be included in your cruise. We're talking about things such as drinks packages. Many cruise lines such as MSC and Princess are offering drinks packages, gratuities and Wi-Fi for a very small amount of extra cash. This can make the overall cruise price much more reasonable, particularly if you are going to be buying drinks and Wi-Fi and things like that.
And some cruise lines are even offering big discounts for frontline and emergency workers. So make sure you check to see if any of those are doing that. We know that MSC and Royal Caribbean are bringing some things in as well. Also, it's a great idea to check cashback and point sites like Quidco, Be Frugal, or Rakuten. They offer cashback on lots of cruise companies. You can get sometimes up to 2 to 5% cashback reward in some cases. We always use it and it's always great. So what do you think? Do you think it's expensive? We're going to leave it to you. We're not going to say whether or not we think it's too expensive. Well, we've already said that we do think it's a little bit too expensive, but we understand why cruise lines have to do this. But are you still going to book? Let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And again, these things are going to get back to normal. These prices are just being hiked for now because there's such a big demand and it's been so long. Can you believe it's been over a year since we've cruised?
But at the end of the day, there is still upsides to cruising sooner. Reduced capacities will make the ships feel much less busy and hectic. It'll be like a private yacht.
Every cloud. So that's it for this episode. We thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up as well. It really helps us, and drop a comment in the section below. We love to hear from you. And thank you so much to all of our patrons as well. We really appreciate you. You guys are so fantastic in keeping our channel running. We're giving you loads of things like extra behind the scenes videos, extra vlogs, and things like postcards when we're back up and running. The captain of the week is Raymond. So ahoy there, Raymond. That's it till next time.
Happy
cruising.